write it down.
Julia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue stickers for you guys.
All right, I'll take the next year. What else?
So there's 3 sessions, so the groups will rotate differently, just so everyone's not all together. So they'll tell you which one the blue group will start at, and that's how you'll rotate. And you guys also get for door prizes. You'll keep one, and you'll put one in the bucket behind us. And at the end, they'll call the number.
So how many are
Just like that.
No.
Okay, we're going to start right on time. Thank you so much for coming out tonight on a nice night like this. If you had a hard day at work and you're still coming out to do something with your children, you are, and your students, you are to be congratulated. Okay, my name is Marcia Picard. I work for an organization called Partners for a Healthier Community, and one of the many, many things that we do is to run these family fun nights all over the greater Fall River area. We've been doing them now for 6 years or so, and just about every year we've come back to Kuss, and we enjoy very much being here. You're going to have a lot of fun tonight. You might learn a little bit along the way, that's not a bad thing. When we've done these before, there have been occasions where our physical education teachers have done what we call anecdotal evaluation. So pretty much they're asking the students the next day, what did you like about the family fun night? And they mention 2 or 3 things that happened during the course of the evening. What makes us feel especially good is that so many of them are telling us what they really liked about the family fun night was spending time with their family. Because it is a family fun night, and it's about participation too. That means we want to see everybody doing everything that's going on, including, you're going to really like, obviously, what's going on up here. I don't know about you, I have not had my dinner yet. Has anybody had their dinner yet? Because I haven't had my dinner yet, and I've been smelling this for the last half an hour or so, and whatever they're making, it smells really, really good. So they always make good things here, so. This is how the evening is going to play out. You're going to be moving to 3 stations. You're going to be at each one of these stations for a 20-minute period of time, and then we're going to move you to another station. So when we start, we're going to send one colored dot here. One will stay right here. We'll move you to the front. One will go into the cafeteria, and one will go into the library. And the Kuss students, I'm going to ask you to help with your moms and dads and the grown-ups who are with you to help show them around what room, where the library is, and of course the cafeteria is right across the way, so that's an easy one. So you're going to be, once you go to that first station, you're going to be there for 20 minutes, then we're going to move you around to the next station. We're going to move you around to the next station. So you will have the opportunity to do everything that we're doing this evening for 20 minutes at a time. At the end of the 20 minutes, which will be 20 past 7, you're all going to want to come back here, because at that point we're going to do a drawing for those door prizes over there. Those door prizes are 10 bags of really, really, really good groceries. So 10 families tonight, 10 lucky families tonight, are going to go home with bags of groceries. And in the bags of groceries, we have tomatoes and carrots and apples and peanut butter and tuna fish and salsa and, oh, my favorite. This is awesome. Is there anyone here who's never had fresh pineapple before? Oh my gosh, fresh pineapple is so good. So there's a whole pineapple in each one of these bags. And what else? We've got brown rice in here and just lots and lots of good things. So we're going to be drawing, but that'll be at the end of the evening. You did not write your name on your ticket. You just have the number on your ticket, so you will have to be here in order to win. So if for some reason you have to leave and we call your number and you're not here, we're going to go on to somebody else, okay? So that's the end of the evening. The end of the evening, you're going to get your dress down day pass, and 10 families are going to go home with a bag of groceries. Okay, everybody understands how it works? Okay, let's see, we've got red and yellow and blue, right? So let's have, red will stay here, and I'm going to ask you to move to the front when we all start moving. We'll send the blue across the hall to the cafeteria, and the yellow will go to the library. Ready, set, go!
So my name is Mike. Welcome to the fitness portion of Family Fun Night. Sometimes when I say fitness portion, people like make faces. They go, "Oh no," and other people go, "Oh nice." So I know that people who smile are the people who like to either exercise or kind of get moving and stuff like that, and the people who frown are the people who generally don't. Now I'm one of the people who usually frown because I don't like to necessarily exercise, but I do like to stay healthy. And one of the ways to stay healthy is just get yourself moving, your body moving, and do something. And it doesn't have to be go to the gym and run on a treadmill or something that you think is boring. If you like that, that's great. But there's other things you can do. So the purpose of this is to show you some of the things that you can do that are kind of fun, but they also can keep you healthy, get your heart rate up, and be a form of exercise. It's very simple. Anybody can do it. So what I'm going to need is maybe 3 lines or 3 rows right here. So maybe one right here, like 4 or 5 people facing this way. Another 4 or 5 people this way. There may not be another 4 or 5. And then whoever's left right here. Okay, facing this way. Are you guys ready to have some fun? Yeah! Everybody clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. You already know. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now, we're going to do the basic step. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. Right foot, let's start. Left foot, let's start. Cha-cha, real slow. Turn it out. Left foot to start. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Cha-cha.
Yes, kind of. Some of it. Just this is it.
I'll take it back. I love that.
Go ahead, you can fill your name out on these. Absolutely.
I feel like I won.
You feel like you won?
Yeah.
Because you are a winner, because kindness is a winner, isn't it?
So what is fine, right? Yes.
Yeah, water or flavored water. You can flavor it yourself. Do you drink any juice?
See, I went not for the nutrition HealthFirst.
If you do though, you can always dilute it. You can do like half water, half water. Because juice is like
Yeah, like if you have apple juice.
yeah, apple juice or orange juice. Because the juice is full of sugar too. You're better off just eating the fruit in their whole state. So like apple, an orange, something like that.
What about milk?
Milk's good. Yep. Whole milk usually. Do you drink or eat cereal? Is that what you're using your milk with?
Like cup of milk.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
No, those are not. Oh, it doesn't?
It's like when you can play games, it's kind of like a mask.
Oh, right. And then she just said all yellows up for going to the community room.
I don't think I wish I was first to
And you're back! I'm Sue Laughlin. This is Lindsay McGann, Jessica Tabasinski, and all 3 of us work for the UMass Extension Nutrition Education Program. And I'm looking around at the kids in the room, and I'm wondering if any of you remember, even though you're in middle school now, but maybe some of you are still in elementary school, someone coming into your classroom to, maybe it was even one of us, right, that came in and talked to you about healthy eating, being healthy, right, doing things that are healthy for your body. Yeah, did I come to your room? What school did you go to? The Veros. Yeah, we were not there. We were there earlier in the year, before the holidays, I think. So, and some of my older friends, do you remember? Maybe back in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, even up to 3rd grade, we came in to your school. So we spend a lot of our daytime hours doing that. We visit all different schools throughout Southeast Mass, Fall River, Taunton, New Bedford, and we bring a 4-week health and nutrition program into the classroom. And then we love, though, in the evenings, getting to do something a little bit different and be invited to these family fun nights. And we have a little mission in mind tonight, based on what Marcia said to you in the beginning. Tonight is all about having fun as a family, connecting as a family. And one time in the past that we used to be able to count on doing that was the family dinner time, right? The family dinner meal. And yet, with our busy lives, how often does that happen? How often does the whole family sit down at one time? You know, we might be feeding in shifts these days because someone has a basketball game, or maybe this time of year soccer or baseball. Heads of households are all working. We don't have that, always have the stay-home, person that's, can do all the cooking during the day and have that meal ready and waiting when we arrive from school or work, right? And, we might even run into the house for 5 minutes, throw on different clothes, and we're dashing off to dance classes, gymnastics, or sports.
And next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, it's late. I can't start cooking dinner now. So we fall trap into picking up, quick pre-made foods, either at the market or a restaurant. And that's okay. We're busy. Our lives have changed as the years have gone by. But if we do that too many nights a week, we also are risking getting more saturated fat. The more we buy processed foods or foods that others have pre-prepared for us, the more there's a chance that they have a lot of extra sneaky, unhealthy fats, sugars, salt, sodium, a lot of processed food and packaged food has a lot of salt in it. So we're going to show you tonight how to kind of recreate the good old-fashioned family dinner that can be made in one skillet, 30 minutes or less. We're guaranteeing that it will be delicious. This has been kid-tested and kid-approved several times in our after-school and summer programs. And again, we are a nutrition program, so it will not only be delicious, but nutritious. Lindsay is going to show you just how quick and easy it is to make this recipe called Silly Fusilli chili.
So this Silly Fusilli chili can be done in half an hour if you start right from the beginning and you read our recipe. I've taken a couple of shortcuts tonight because I do not have a half an hour with you guys. I actually have like 3 minutes before I'm supposed to serve you food. So I've taken some shortcuts that will speed up your life if you wanted to try this at home, or you could do it the way that our recipe has it, and it'll take you about a half an hour. So what I've done is I've already preheated our pan, and it has a very low number of ingredients. It's very cost effective, and it's super quick. So the first thing that you probably smelled when you walked in was our onions. That is what I'm going to smell in for 4 days, most likely, because my jacket will smell like onions. You guys will probably smell like onions because you've been hanging out with us. But they are so tasty, and they smell so good, they bring everybody in. Now you might hear that I have a little sizzle going on. You want that. That's a good thing. You do that when you're going to saute onions. It's the same process that you would do with like a larger piece of meat or something. You'd be searing it. You want it nice and hot. If you don't do it nice and hot, we don't want the microphone nice and hot either. If you don't have it nice and hot, it actually takes longer. So if you put it in the pan and it's not making that sizzle noise, just take it out and wait. Get it a little hotter. Because if you don't, you're just going to end up sweating them. They'll release a lot of liquid. You're not going to ruin it. It's just going to slow your process down. So if your whole idea is to try to get the meal on the table sooner, you want to make sure it's nice and hot. Then we have some peppers. Now I'm not demoing onions because I think you know how to chop them, and you guys probably don't want to see me cry. That would happen with my onions. So I'm going to show you a little trick for these peppers. It's called paneling. Okay? Paneling is a super way not to get your table, your cutting board, your floor, and your hands covered in pepper seeds. Every time I cut a pepper, I always make a disaster. That's before I learned this trick, okay? So this is a bell pepper. It's shaped like a bell, obviously, right? It's got that rounded look to it. To panel a pepper, you're going to want to cut right down the middle of the bell. So let me show you that. You could pre-cook any of your ground meat in advance, and then freeze it or save it in little packages for what you're going to do in a week. Like if you were going to do tacos or something, or you're going to do this chili, or if you were going to do a soup or something, you could pre-cook all of your meat, and then when you're rushing around and somebody's got soccer practice and this one's got dance and we got to run this doctor's appointment over here, everybody's going around. If this is already cooked, all you're going to end up doing is heating it up. So it will take you probably like 6 minutes if you weren't talking in between like me. And then the last thing that's kind of a budget stretcher slash time saver slash let's use all of our leftovers. I have some pre-cooked pasta here. The recipe has you use dry pasta and then you cook it in the sauce. You could do that. It just takes longer. So what we did is we pre-cooked it. If you've never pre-cooked pasta before, you want to get a little bit of cold water on it so it cools down, and then toss it in some oil, some vegetable oil, olive oil or something, so it doesn't stick together, because if not, you get like a giant chunk of pasta. And then you can freeze it like that if you want. If you know you're going to use it in the week, like if you're going to have spaghetti night, even though you don't like tomato sauce, right? You're going to have spaghetti night or something, you can have that all cooked and ready. You can even throw it in a foil pan, leave it in the fridge, and then when you go to have it that night, just like throw it in the oven, covered in foil. stays hot, and then you could put like your sauce in a crock pot, and everybody could run in and out. Like when this one comes in from practice, they could eat, and then you could eat at this different time, and everything's hot and ready. Okay. And the last thing that's going in here, I'm going to put a little water to loosen it up. But we have our spice blend. Our spice blend is chili powder because it's chili that we're making. And there's also garlic powder. We did salt and pepper. You could use any kind of seasonings that you like in your house. I am a big fan of onion powder. There's onions in here, but I probably would put both. You could put, if you like a little bit extra kick, you could do like some cayenne pepper or crushed red pepper flakes. Keep in mind when we do our recipes here, if you try it tonight, we usually do about twice the seasoning. So our recipes are seasoned like really bland. If you like the way you're tasting it tonight, it's about twice the seasoning. If you like it a little spicier, you could do 3 times the seasoning or add your own kind of things. Maybe you want to add like jalapenos if you guys like it spicy. Okay? But that's it. Then you just let it sit. This, I'm just going to let heat through. If you were cooking it, it would take you like another 10 minutes to cook the pasta, and you're done. Everybody's ready to serve. So,
Chia chips. You could also put it over some rice. You could switch it up and put it over rice. That kind of thing.
nobody wants the last one?
Last one. We need light cheese on it. Yes.
All the heads are nodding.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna do something, and then everybody else has to do it, okay? And it's not even a dance move, it's just something. So for instance, if I do stop the lawnmower, everybody's gotta do this. Show me you can stop the lawnmower. Everybody. I wanna see everybody stop the lawnmower. Are you starting the lawnmower? Little guy's not, but that's right, he's passing through. He was weed whacking maybe or something, I don't know. So then I'll do something else, and everybody has to do it. If for some reason I can't think of one, which doesn't ever happen, I can always think of something, but if by chance I can't think of a move to do, then I may point to one of you, and whatever you do, oh, you just got really nervous. I said I point to one of you, it was like nobody else was in the room, and it was just her, and I was definitely going to her. So start thinking right now, because if I happen to point to you, whatever I do, everyone else in the group is going to do it, okay? Simple, easy peasy. All right?
Water is a great option, and you know what? That water is going to hydrate your body. It's going to hydrate your muscles, your skin. It's going to really hydrate you, and your body can use it towards something. There's no nutritional value in soda. So juice as well. You just want to be mindful of how much you're drinking. Do you like juice?
Not really. I mean, she's like lemonade and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, lots of
Yeah.
things like that.
And whole fruit, if they like to eat the apple in its whole state, that's probably the best.
Great job.
Yeah. that works. We're exercising our biceps, our elbows. Crazy legs, crazy legs. Good job, everyone. Good job. I had some really favorite ones. You need to watch like this? Yeah, that's a new one. And last group, someone did pick the grapes.
Oh, I like that.
I want to thank you guys because it's so important. They call this Family Fun Night for a reason. And I think it's very hard nowadays when people are working like lots of jobs and we have busy lives and lots of kids and lots of things going on. Sometimes I think we don't have the time to spend with our kids the way we want to and with our families. But more importantly, I don't think we recognize sometimes how, or at least I can definitely speak for myself, how valuable and important some of the time is that we do spend. So every morning, I drive my two daughters that don't live with me. I pick them up and I drive them into school. Now I spend a lot of time with them throughout the week, but every morning I drive them to school. It takes about 8 or 9 minutes. To me, that's just an 8 or 9 minute drive. We talk, how was your night? You know, what did you learn yesterday? Did you do your homework? I drop them off at school. Love you, have a good day. That's it. The past couple of weeks I've been very busy at work. Because of that, I've kind of started my day earlier. So during the ride to school, I've been making phone calls, talking to people while I'm driving to school. And my older daughter had told me a few days, after that like 7 or 8 day period that I was doing that, she said, you know what? Some of the most important time that we spend and that I look forward to the most was the time when we would drop us off at school, because it was really, she didn't say it in these words, but she basically said it was really valuable time for her because it was just me and just them and everything else was blocked out and quiet. There was no radio, no TV, nothing else, and we were just able to talk and have a conversation. And by me being on the phone, I kind of took that away. To me, I was just dropping them off at school. That's all that was to me. To my two daughters, that was a really, really valuable time. And I spend hours and hours with them, and we watch TV, we play outside, we do all kinds of stuff. I thought that was the quality time we were spending together. Little did I know that that was way less important to them than the 8-minute drive to school in the morning. So my point of this is, first, I appreciate you guys participating, because that's what really this is all about. And secondly, just be real conscious and pay attention to what your kids are telling you sometimes when they don't actually tell you, by their body language and stuff. Because it was a valuable lesson for me. All right, thank you very much. You guys were awesome. Give us a round of applause.
When we do family fun nights, we certainly hope that you learn a little bit, maybe about exercise. I mean, everything that our good friend Mike did with you this evening, that doesn't cost any money to move around, to exercise, to music. And speaking of Mike, he is in the back of the room. Can we give Mike Ramos a big hand for what he did in the workout room with you all here? He's really good about getting people up and moving, and we're very grateful to him for coming after a long, busy day. And because sometimes when we do these programs, we're in lots of different rooms, and so when we get to this point, the people who do some of our stations aren't here to be able to get the credit. However, we have the nutrition education people who are right here to get the credit. So can we please give them a nice hand? They come from a long way away to do these programs for us, for which we are very grateful. And I'm thinking some stomachs are very grateful too. Again, as far as learning a little bit, so we always remind people that you family adults, you're the ones that do the shopping, even though you might be influenced by the students who are middle school students and children who are younger. However, you're the ones that really are making the decision about what comes home. And so you're the ones who are responsible for how healthy your children are going to be. That's a lot of responsibility. But the experts are telling us that if our children continue to eat the way so many of them are, soda, french fries, all the things that's not good for them, and if they keep leading what we call these sedentary lifestyles, if they're not getting exercise, they come home and they sit in front of their computer or their iPad or they're texting and not getting the exercise that they need to get, that this will be the first generation in history to have a shorter lifespan than the generation that preceded it, which means that our kids won't be living as long as we are. That's really bad. and we're the ones that have control over that, because again, we're the ones that determine whether they're moving around, and maybe you're moving with them. I hope you had some fun. The vast majority of you were really moving around with your children tonight, with your students tonight, and I think that was great to get you up and moving. So now, without further ado, we are going to draw for the door prizes. Each family should have gotten one ticket when you came in. Everybody want to get out your tickets? Okay, so 10 families are going to go home with grocery bags. All right, and to do the drawing this evening, I'm going to ask for the assistance of, and I want to thank profusely Mrs. Mellon, who has been an extraordinary help. Every year we come back to Kuss, and she's been so good about promoting the program, about trying to get people through the door, because she knows what a good program this is. And so I would like for you to give her a nice big round of applause, please. To draw the numbers for the two reasons that I always say when we do Family Fun Night. She's going to draw the numbers and announce them because chances are she may know you and I don't, even though I've just met you this evening, I really don't know everybody's names. So we're going to have her do the drawing just in case she might know your name and to be able to say, oh, it's the Jones family that won, or it's the Brown family that won. But the real reason that I always ask somebody from the school to do the drawing is because if she does not draw your number, it is not my fault. Okay, here we go.
2610899. Yay! Congratulations. Do I just give them? Okay. Enjoy. Okay, next one, 2610886. 0886. You must be here. Oh, okay. All right, Miss Burnett. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a pineapple in there.
2610894. All right. Miss French, very nice. Okay. Thank you, Emily. Okay, next one. 2610897. 0897. Okay. Nice. Excellent. 2610892. Okay, William.
That was a great reaction. I like that.
0889.
Yay, Hannah.
Okay, and last but not least, 2610890.
Yes!